Yeah. All right. Well, Grant,
But
I have one for you. So you played with multiple teams. Obviously, I know your last team that you played with and how well you played. But can you kind of give us an idea of how did the different types of training staff work with you? I mean, did you see consistency across the board, or did teams have completely different approaches? Or did you even notice a difference until I know the Suns did stuff specifically following the NASM curriculum. However, some of the other teams, I think, had different approaches.
yeah, it's a great question. I feel like my career was in three different stages. Early on in Detroit, we had a guy there who was at the time we thought was ahead of his time and did some interesting things. Didn't believe in sort of heavy lifting. But I was young. I was young, and you feel like you're invincible. And I thought ice was for your drink. I didn't know you put ice on your body. And then I ended up having a devastating injury as I transitioned to Orlando. And it was very archaic. It was a lot of Olympic lifts. It was sort of very old school in their approach, not just in terms of training, but also just the medical and sort of the old athletic training model, if you will, that was sort of archaic in the past. And when I left Orlando and went to Phoenix, I had been through a lot and missed a considerable amount of time. Was unsure if I could really play in Phoenix because they were an up-tempo team and ran up and down the court, played heavy minutes. And then I went out there and was introduced to this NASM model that the Suns had incorporated. And I thought I'd play maybe a year or two and ended up playing 6 more years and went from a guy who really couldn't stay healthy in recent years to all of a sudden I'm an Iron Man. Like I'm playing every game. I'm not missing games. I'm playing heavy minutes. And so I needed that after a dark period in Orlando. I needed that, mentally and emotionally I wasn't the same player. I was older. I had an ankle that, had some restrictions and limitations. But to be able to play and be productive and be healthy was huge. And so there was a noticeable difference. I'm writing a book right now, my memoir, and so and it'll be released next year. And I remember vividly when I signed in Phoenix and I went out there for my press conference to sign in 2007. And I went to the training staff and they conducted an evaluation. And, they had me put my hands in the air and do the squats and do all these different things and testing my range of motion and internal rotation, dorsiflexion. I was paying attention. And I was amazed at like the detail and the level of care that they were providing me, which was, like I said, all part of this NASM model. And on the drive back from the facility to the Biltmore Hotel, like I got emotional, like because I felt like, wow, like with all that I've been through, 5 surgeries, a horrible staph infection, a skin flap to repair tissue and skin as a result of the staph infection, missing 4 years of my prime. And now like I'm getting like this level of care that I so desired. It confirmed in that moment that I made the right decision. And even then I didn't realize just how good it was, how impactful and important it was for me as I proceeded forward and was able to play till I was 40, as a result.
You should have played till 41, by the way. you had it in you.
It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that. So back when I was going through all my injuries in my early 30s, I used to say in late 20s, I'll make it up on the back end. I'll play till I'm 40. And at 40, I think my body just expired.